31 points scored in the game against the New Orleans Pelicans. We're going to talk about it, break it all down. But first, we got to play the winning intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
Y'all remember at the start of the season where everybody was like, oh, Coby White, why is Coby White still starting? Get Coby White out of there. We need to start somebody else other than Coby White. Coby White comes in this game, 31 points, leading the Chicago Bulls in scoring, and it was really a tale of two halves with Coby White. 28 of his 31 points were in the second half. That's how important he was in the second half of this game. He goes 9 of 12 from the field and 7 of 9 from three-point range with 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers in just the second half of this game from Coby White. That is just the second half. That is the way that Coby White played in this game and performed and how much it was needed. He was supported by DeMar DeRozan as well, who had 24 points overall in the game. We needed everyone to bit those 24. Nikola Vucevic only finishes the game with 6 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, not really building off the game that he had last time. Patrick Williams does have 14 points in this game as well, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Again, Patrick Williams continuing to step up his game as well for the Chicago Bulls. He goes 6 of 11 from the field as well. You got Caruso, who didn't play in the second half of the game. He scores 8 points. Torrey Craig with 15 points, going 5 of 6 from the field. Ayo Dosunmu, 6 of 9 for 15 points as well. Andre Drummond chips in 7 and 8 coming off the bench, and then 2 points from Devon Carter, 2 points from Julian Phillips. But listen, the story in this game is going to be the play of Coby White and just how much more Coby White is poised. As you remember how many times we've seen Coby White get off the slow start and he kind of stayed consistent. He was locked in the second half of this game, and just the way that he kind of operated at times, the offense going through him. 9 rebounds in total did Coby White have in this game, 6 assists total, 1 steal. Again, Coby White has grown so much, and that's why I've been talking a lot about just how Coby White as a scorer can become more consistent and how the Bulls really may be looking for that consistency from him whenever Zach LaVine is moved, and Coby White may move into a higher priority into the scoring rotation at that point in time. But Patrick Williams as well, stepping up, and this is what you like to see the young Bulls be an important part of the win. Was the game plan the same? Was the play style the same as the Milwaukee Bucks game? No, it wasn't. It was different. You had DeMar DeRozan back in the game. But as the game went on, you still saw that confidence from Ayo Dosunmu, for example, who's just been playing with another level of confidence coming in, starting for Caruso in that second half with Caruso not coming back in the game. But Coby White, his growth has been exponential. Patrick Williams, he's just being super consistent lately as Patrick Williams. Again, has it been perfect? Has it been what some people are going to expect from a 4th overall pick? No. But like I said in the video I dropped about a month ago, when I was like, it's not about potential for me with P. Will anymore. But now P. Will has now strung together his 6th game in a row scoring in double digits. So that, Patrick Williams is starting to figure it out. The aggression level for Patrick Williams, the way that he's been playing on the defensive side of the ball, bringing that intensity as well. You're starting to see it start clicking. And, while it's been a week or so, you want to see it continue for more time built after that. But listen, as of right now, we're balling, and it's good to see. It's great to see this team, the young players, be such an important part of why the Bulls are getting these wins, right? First back-to-back win on the season. We now go to 6-14 on the season. So, shout out there, 7-14. I think we go on the season. I don't even remember our record. We suck. But anyway, listen, the Bulls are getting victories, man. 7-14 on the season, and the way that we're playing is important. And it's good to see as well Billy Donovan trust the guys. We always talk about Billy Donovan not riding the hot hand, and it hasn't been perfect. I want to make it clear that I'm not saying it's all of a sudden this thing that's perfect and he's just riding the hot hand all the time. But you're starting to see him start realizing, all right, let me trust Coby, right? Let me trust Ayo Dosunmu, who Ayo, so good defensively, pushing the pace in this game, understanding how to operate in space, things like that. And we're seeing him reward the young players for their effort with getting them more shots, getting them more touches. And that's something that could make this team potentially a team that's fun to watch, a team that we respect, a team that we like playing basketball. It's because with Zach LaVine and DeMar when they were out, right? I don't want to make it just on Zach, but what we're seeing is that when you move away from having those players being the offense, everybody else is more involved, more engaged because they're touching the ball more. And so it's for a team that's still working through some things, for a team that still has its faults, for the team that isn't necessarily the best 3-point shooting team in the league or anything like that. You want to get everybody involved. And when you get everybody involved, you start seeing that effort increase from them. And everybody's playing with a bunch of confidence right now. They're playing in their roles. I don't think somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. If they feel different, I'd love to hear from it. But I don't feel like anybody's trying to do too much out there. Everybody's playing within the strength of their skill set and their game. And so when you do those type of things, you get the best out of people. The Bulls in this game, 54% overall from the field, at 42% shooting the ball from three-point range. Now, a big chunk of that comes from Coby White just being completely crazy from three-pointer in the second half of this game. The Bulls also win the rebounding battle in this game. Those are the type of things that you want to see this Bulls team be able to do, and if they do it consistently, they can punch against anybody. And so, let's not act like the Pelicans are like this world-class team or anything like that, but listen, the Bulls are taking care of business, and I like the way they're going about their business. 32 assists on 48 made baskets, only 16 baskets not being assisted on. That shows you that isolation ball, not a heavy factor in the game so far. The Bulls, 18 points off turnovers. That's what you want to see. 16 points, second chance points in this game, and 48 points in the paint. Now, we didn't win the points in the paint battle. That was 56 by the New Orleans Pelicans, but we still came in there. We took care of things. And one thing we're seeing as well, this team, the defense is stepping up when it needs to be. Now, this was not the best defensive performance by the Bulls overall. They finished the game with a defensive rating of 122, which isn't really great by any stretch of the imagination. The average is 110. So that keep in mind, defensive rating, the higher number is worse. We got some things that we tightened up, but at the end of the day, the Bulls got the dub. And the way they got the dub, these are sustainable ways of playing basketball. This is a brand of basketball that you can bring in. We talked about today, somebody left a voicemail, are the Bulls building an identity? Can't say for sure yet through 2 games, but we can say that through those 2 games, they're starting to, it looks like they're trying to adapt identity, the same identity that AK and Billy Donovan talked about that they wanted the team to play with coming into the season. We didn't see it, but we're seeing it now. And so, listen, it's really good to see your team compete. It's good to see your team fight back. Down 8 points at the half, come back and win this game by 6 points. It was good to see the way that the Bulls executed, man. And I, for one, just applaud the team for their execution, applaud them for their ability and how they're going about it, because it's just been good to watch this type of basketball being played by our team. But let's go ahead and get into some of the comments we got in here. We got Sweaty Bloke in the building, says, give Coby and Pat the keys. Hey, listen, there are going to be some people that they completely agree with you there. Samir says, I don't see why Zach can't come back and fit in this system. That's the thing, is that Zach LaVine this is a system that should fit Zach LaVine's skill set to a T. And that is one of the things that stand out about why it's not. Right? Shay, Haize, the reason why I thought he shouldn't start is because DeRozan kind of messes up his game. That's why I thought it. I mean, listen, I understand that, but that's why it was a new thing for both DeMar and Coby. You got to let players go through their downs if you see potential in them. And so, listen, we got to applaud AK and Billy Donovan. A lot of Bulls fans, why didn't we go out and get a point guard? I know it's not a true point guard, but Coby White is showing that he can be, albeit a different type of guard, but he can definitely be a starter for you in this league. And I think in the Bulls' next version of the roster, if they change this roster to where all the players can handle some of the ball, everybody's solid passing, you can see Coby White really thrive in the starting point guard role in a case like that. You got to build the team well, but right now, listen, Coby White is balling. Even for straight men, Coby White was making Chi-Town act up. Okay, all right, well, okay. People are going to say I'm crazy, but maybe I am. But man, Coby White's game is so similar to Jamal Murray Phillips. Jamal Murray Phillips, I said, reminds me. Oh, Julian Phillips reminds you of Mikal Bridges. Again, just want to see young guys playing. Listen, here's what I'll say. I'll say this. Are their games the exact same? No, but they're similar type of point guards, right? In the sense that they're not these traditional half court set the team up type point guards, but they both can be extremely well. You just have to move the ball around. You have to have that type of thing. You have to have a team and a game plan to where you understand this that he's not going to be that type of point guard, but that does not mean he still can't be a super reliable and solid point guard for you, depending on how the makeup of your roster is. I knew he was coming. Prove me wrong. Says I'm so tired of being right. Haize, lol. That's why my name is Prove Me Wrong. Tried to tell y'all, gee, I know what I'm talking. No, you didn't. And you said stupid shit for 2 years, and you just now starting to see Coby White come along. So no, you're not right, and you're ugly, you're a loser. Like, let's just be clear here, bro. You are a loser. Like, and it's okay. It's okay, bro. Like, it's all right. Just embrace the fact that you are indeed a loser, and everything's gonna be all right, bro. Your hairline is you got a 40-year-old hairline. You're 26 years old, bro. You got to get that together, man. You got bigger concerns than worry about being right, because you know what's wrong. Your hairline's wrong, so you got to get that right. Don't worry about being right about basketball and sports. Get your hairline together, bro. Brush that weak ass fade. Listen. It's all jokes. That's my guy, man. Coby is the new Zach, but better. DeMar don't need ISO. No, DeMar does need ISO. That DeMar scores in isolation. Like, we can't. Let's not get a little too ahead of ourselves and say DeMar doesn't need isolation. But yeah. Let's see what else we got. Let's go. The chat refreshed on me, y'all. So if I lost your chats, I'm sorry. People are going off right now. Man, stop playing. I've been telling these fools Coby White was going to be great for this team, man. Never once have I ever said trade him. He's my favorite Bull. I love everything about Coby. We got a star. And listen, Coby White, and still extremely young. Like Coby White is not, and this goes back to why you can't try to write the story on players early into their careers. Like, people were trying to write Coby off the 2021-22 season, coming into that season. Oh, we got to trade Coby. We got to do this. Now, look, a few seasons later, he's the starting point guard. He's the reason why we're winning basketball games. Now, I know we all agreed with you at the time, but how's not winning a game until January? He reckons, like, listen, bro. I'm glad that I was wrong on that one. Definitely glad I was wrong. Definitely glad I was wrong on that one. Haize, we have two next winnable games against Hornets and Spurs. Yes, two very winnable games on the schedule next up for the Chicago Bulls. We could be talking about a 4-game winning streak for the Chicago Bulls. We very well could be talking about the Bulls could come out of this at 9-14 theoretically. Now, the one thing that I'll say, this is still the Chicago Bulls, so we do know something that can happen as well is that the games that we expect the Bulls to win, they can get blown out in. Let's not hope that's not the case, but we'll end up seeing what happens, man. But, like, listen, very winnable games. If the Bulls keep playing with this level of heart, it's going to be big, man. It's definitely going to be big. Bathor Payne in the building says, P. Will is special. He's just a couple of steps away from being a bad man. Coby is an amazing story. Don't give up on the youngins. Shout out to Io as well. Facts. And that's why, listen, you and when you hear like this front office not wanting to give up on guys and people are like, you got to trade Pat. He's done. He's a bust, right? Like those type of things. I get why you're saying that. I'm not saying that those feelings aren't valid to a degree based off how the players were playing at that time. But you have to remember, these players still have room to grow. And that's what makes it so dangerous. We got Big Kev in the building. Says, strong W. Coby, 2 straight 30-plus assist games. Why Zach dressed like a charismatic youth pastor? P. Will showed up. That is funny. Zach, we all know Zach LaVine's fashion ain't really what it is. TBO in the building says, can you do a shout out to my favorite homies, Stabby, Lil Ricky, and Mel the lesbian? What are we doing here, bro? What are we doing? DeMar worked phenomenally with the new system. He would be a great vet for this team if he wants to stay. If we can get some better pieces for Zach, we may have hope. Proud of the youngins regardless. Got to respect the heart and the determination that they played with. Definitely. Back-to-back wins without Zach. I know it's extremely small sample size, but this looks like a different team completely. Hey, BKR Sport hit me in the DM on Twitter. He said, hey, this is bad for Zach LaVine's trade value. And it is, but it's good for the Chicago Bulls' future. And that's the thing that matters the most. So, the Bulls' future is the most important thing here. That's the most important thing. And people say that the Bulls don't have any young talent to build around. Coby, IOP, will all in double digits. Hell, even Phillips made a basket out there. Let's keep the energy up. Facts, right? And the thing, too, that people have to remember is that, like, a lot of the common thought process behind where the Bulls are stuck at is people not adopting to where the current situation is. People still say the Bulls have no draft picks. We got all of our draft picks going forward, except one pick we owe out to the San Antonio Spurs, and that's top 10 protected. And the protections get stronger each year that goes by after that, right? So even if we are a bottom 10 team next season, the following season, guess what? The protections get even stronger. So like the Bulls have assets. They have young players that they can start being pieces that you start looking at as pillars. Maybe they still got to prove it, right? I don't want to label anything through 2 games yet, but like there's talent here on this team. And that's why the people who've been saying for the longest, this Bulls team has no talent. No, the talent is here. You just have to utilize it correctly. And I'm not here to blame anything all on one player or any one aspect. But you have to start asking yourself is maybe with Zach LaVine and how ball dominant he is, how much did that hold the Chicago Bulls back? How much did that hold players back from getting developmental reps? Like players like a Patrick Williams, players like a Coby White that just haven't had the opportunity to really learn on the fly to get to be those players that get 10, 15 shots a game regardless, right? So that's an important part of this. And I love seeing that, them setting some people up, me and myself included in some aspects as well. So let's go ahead and keep it pushing. Tay Holland says, Haize, do you think we found our identity? Can't say that through 2 games. I am not that knee-jerky to where I will be willing to say that we found our identity through it only 2 games, but here's what I'll say. If at the end of this week, we got 2 games left. We got games against the Spurs and the Hornets. Hornets first on Wednesday, Spurs on Friday. If we win those 2 games, that's where you can start saying, hey, this may be an identity, because at that point you got 4 games as a whole week more. We got Milwaukee again next Monday as well. So we'll see how that ends up going for the Bulls and if that goes in their favor. But listen, you could start, I would say, give it 5 to 8 games. Ideally, you want 10 to 15 games, but just with how bad the season is, let's give it 5 to 8 games. If this team continues to play with this manner, the ball moving around, this level of heart for 5 to 8 games, that's where you can start seeing and saying maybe they found their identity. That's where you can start saying that. I never gave up on Coby White, never, because I knew he was going to be exactly what we are starting to see. And I put that on Big Cleve. Long live Cleve Mays. Coby showing everyone what I've been saw. Hey, listen, first of all, stop putting shit on people's names. Secondly, you're right. It's just right. That's why you ain't even got to put it on people's names. It's facts. We're seeing it. Craig defense, ball movement, Coby White leadership offensively, Caruso leadership defensively, faster pace with DeMar on bench, playing through Vooch at times. Are we developing an identity? That's going to be the question, apparently, that a lot of people ask. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are going to ask that. Like I said, we need more time. We need a larger sample size, but it's trending in that direction. It's trending in that direction to where we can say this seems like the Bulls are starting to find their identity in a major way. Edwin Washington says, I know what the stat lines say about the defense tonight, but I think guys all played well and played their position well. Every man stepped up and played to their ability or higher. I loved it. I mean, listen, the fact of the matter is this, right? Is that even with playing good defense, sometimes teams are going to hit shots, right? I think sometimes we look at defense too reactionarily. We look at it and say, boom, the team, they scored this many points. That means we played bad defense. No, the Pelicans, for a lot of points tonight, hit tough shots. They shot the ball 50% from the field. Yeah, we were shot the ball better from the field, but this was a game in which both teams being over 50% from the field. Listen, yes, there was good defense played out there, but there are also some teams some players just hitting tough shots. Coby is the new Zach, but better. DeMar don't need. I already read that super chat. No, I already read that. Matter of fact, y'all, hey, listen, get in more super chats. Hit this. No, more important than that, hit the subscribe button if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel. We're trying to get to 20K subscribers by the end of the season, and we're not too far off from hitting 16,000 subscribers. So, hey, if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, double check, hit that subscribe button. We are 51 people away from the 16K subscribers on the channel. So there you guys go on that. I know there's 600 or something of you in here. Hit the subscribe button. Even if you think you subscribe, double check. You may not be subscribed, but yeah. Shy Bulls podcast. Shout out to the Kanye boy, says, wow, what did I just watch? You are watching young players learn to play the game of basketball. And that's why I compared on the Today's Daily Show, I compared this Chicago Bulls team to the Baby Bulls. And that was a team that didn't always win a bunch of games, right? But they were in every game and they were scrappy. You knew when teams came into Chicago specifically, they were going to be in for a long night of a team that was going to be pesky and not just go away. And we're starting to see this team start getting into that place. Again, only 2 games. We got much further to go before we're ready to say it, but it is what it is. Imagine if we can have a DeMar DeRozan off the bench. That would be fire. Coby, Ayo, P. Will, Torrey Craig, and Vooch, and DeMar and Ayo off the bench. That would be great for us. I mean, listen, I get it, and I'm not saying that you're wrong, but one thing Billy Donovan's already said, he's not benching those guys. So Nice in the building says, I see Red. What's going on? Always love when we get to play the nicest song in here as the winning intro. You're correct, Haize. Also, I've commented on before, but when the Bulls shoot well and score 120, score in the 120s between 125 to 140 points per game, they can usually win. I mean, yeah, I think that's probably going to be a lot of teams, though. If they can score that many points, you typically win the game, right? It's a modern NBA, so I know that's not always the case. But listen, I love the way that this team is playing. D-Dub in the building says, Haize, when Zach returns, I don't think he can accept not being the number one option. Also, I don't think Coby, P. Will, and Ayo can grow and develop with Zach on the floor. Listen, I don't agree with that. We've seen players grow with way more ball dominant players on the floor. I think, and even Zach being the number one option, Zach's not going to be the number one option on any team he's traded to. So, you know, I get what you're saying, and it's a way different test to be the second option next to got Zach and AD or whatever than it is being the next, not the first option next to Coby White and P. Will or whatever that is. But at some points, you have to do what it takes to win basketball games. And if you're not willing to do what it takes to win basketball games, even if that means you sacrificing how you see yourself, then yeah, it's time for you to go. That just is. It's time for you to go. It's crazy how just refreshing the offense looks different without Zach LaVine. I mean, hey, it is what it is there. It is what it is. Did I not play the winning intro? Listen, I pressed the wrong button. Oh, well, I played the winning outro. There you go. Coby White, most improved player. Watch. Here's what I'll say, though. The Bulls have to win. They have to be above 500 for Coby White to win most improved player. So I don't see that happening. Most improved player has never gone to, let me not say never, but in like the last 10 years at least, probably way more than that, it's not gone to a team, a player on a team that's not above 500. So Coby can play MIP level play. He can be that level of player, but he's probably not going to win if the Bulls aren't winning at a high level. L in the building says, DeMar worked well with the system, I must say. DeMar did stop the ball on some occasions, and it showed out. They hung in there and got the ball moving again. Good win, Chicago. Really like it. Really like it. Let's see what else we got in the building. Hey, Haize, what happened to Caruso? He re-injured that big toe, and he aggravated that big toe injury, so they went ahead and decided to just sit him down. So what's good, Haize? We have this team play better offense and effort. Hopefully they'll find a way to keep it consistent on the road from Immortal Beast. I mean, listen, if the Bulls can, like, that's the thing with this team. It's consistency. If you unlock a level of play, we got one more game at home against Charlotte, and then we go out on the road against San Antonio and Milwaukee. We come back home briefly against Denver, and then we got a 3-game road stretch again. So the Bulls are going to be on the road a lot here over the next couple of weeks after we make it through these next 2 games, and that may be where that new identity is really tested at as well. BKR says, we deserve this, man. It's been such a tough season so far, such a tough last couple of years, but we deserve this hype, even if it's just for a short amount of time, brother. Oh, facts. I get it, and I know people from the outside are looking in and gonna be like, hey, y'all have won 7 games, y'all getting this excited, but when you've gone through the trial and tribulations that we're seeing, when you've gone through that, that's like, you deserve to celebrate it. You want to do it still in realizing where you are and how far your team still has left to go. But don't let anybody make you feel wrong for celebrating. Haize, damn, is that picture copyrighted? You just put that brother on blast all the time. Now everyone knew. Last week people were talking about Coby should come off the bench. Listen, that's the thing, right? Now, like, and I was saying it then, like, let Coby go through this. Like, he's learning a new role. He's becoming a starter. Even when he was playing his worst, like, it takes time. It's people like to think it's just as simple as add water, boom, you're starting, and then you get going. No, it's not that simple. We would love it to be, but it's not always that simple. Like and subscribe. Y'all like and subscribe. Y'all heard the woman. Like and subscribe to the damn channel. I'm glad Stacey mentioned it on the game call. Pat needs to operate on the block more often. When he gets switched onto those smaller guards, it should be a clear out time like it is with DeMar. Facts, and that comes with confidence, though, right? Pat has to get to a place of being confident to do that consistently and all the time, and hopefully we see that from Pat. I know that it's in there, right? We've always talked about with Pat. It's all about the things between his ears, right? It's all behind his brain. Pat has the skill. That's it. The thing that I never questioned Pat's skill. I questioned Pat's mentality. And so, if he starts playing with a better mentality consistently, which he's been doing over the last 6 games, then listen, the sky's the limit for him. The sky's really the limit for him. Samuel Coggin says, "Give me the hot sauce." Coby had the UC rocket and chanting his name, and the announcer was like, "Another one," with his A3 was laughing. Listen, Coby White has so much potential, and it's one of those things to where when you're a player that has always been used to being the number one option. Kobe's been the number one option scoring everywhere until he got to the NBA. And and then his role was inconsistent. He came in, he wasn't starting initially that rookie season. He came into that second season starting, I think, what was that, the COVID year, and then he comes back. He has in his third year, the first year under Billy Donovan. I think it was the first year, maybe it was the second year under Billy Donovan. Coming off the bench, that role was inconsistent in what they asked him to do. Like, sometimes it takes time with these players, but we're seeing Coby White is really starting to put it together. He's starting to understand, and that's something that's special. Definitely something that's special. So happy did not give up believing on P. Will, Coby, IO, P. Will trio. Listen, and that's what you want to see from your young players that could be pillars of this team. Eats Instruments, man, back-to-back wins, get those likes up. Listen, hit the subscribe button as well, but it's crazy. It's crazy. Tyrone in the building says, Billy Donovan was a good coach tonight, minus bubblegum, the chewing on a serious, good win, Bulls. Listen, and that's why I say, as much as I'm not a Billy Donovan guy, I do not hesitate to give Billy Donovan his flowers when he earns them. And Billy Donovan has coached two really solid games back to back. The Milwaukee game was one of Billy Donovan's best coach games I've ever seen from Billy Donovan. So give him all the credit in the world to that. And this one, there were some initial concerns there earlier in the game, but I think those things he learned from it coming on, and he started trusting his players. So, it is what it is there. Let's see what we got. We got old man Breezes says, you think DeMar is still going to want out? Well, keep in mind, there's never been said that DeMar wants out. It's always been said that DeMar wants to see what shape this roster takes afterwards. And even when DeMar's preferred list of trade destinations came, it was if he is traded. Not that he wants to be traded to these teams, but if it gets to that point. So, I think that I think DeMar just wants to make sure that he's going to be part of something that's trying to move forward. And, he may want a ring chase. We'll see with that. But, it comes down to it. We'll see. Damn, my channel is about to hit 6K subs already. We lit. That's funny. You got a channel, Simba? Shout out to Simba. Reports that the Pistons has interest in Zach Bro going to leave the Bulls and go to an even worse situation. Hey, remember the last time a Chicago Bulls shooting guard went to the Detroit Pistons? I'm just gonna let you sit with that. Haize, I haven't stopped laughing yet, but he said I put that on somebody dead. That's funny. I mean, listen, that's a Chicago thing, bro. It's a Chicago thing. Great win for the Bulls. Even with Vooch struggling, we were still able to pull off the victory. I want to see Julian Phillips get more minutes. Kid has so much upside and length. He can be our Herb for real. That's a really solid comparison. But I'll say this: I think Julian Phillips has more scoring upside than Herb Jones. But I like that comp. I definitely like that comp for sure. What was Jazz record when Laurie won MIP? What was the Jazz records last season? Let's take a look at that. Maybe I'm tripping on that. Let's take a look. Give me 1 second. They were 37-45. So yeah, I mean, okay. So there you go. Proven wrong. My mama's gonna watch this whole game in slow-mo. Coby. I don't want to make a joke about Archangel's mom. I was going to make one of my patented jokes, nothing offensive, but I'm not going. I'm not going to do it. We need to make a little bit more national noise, good noise for Coby to get most improved. We got a big hole to dig ourselves out of, but not impossible. I mean, listen, if Coby White is able to get in that most improved, like I said, this him just getting votes to me is a win, right? Hey, this might sound crazy, but I think this is actually the kind of team that Billy can coach. The vets might not listen to him much, but Coby, Caruso, P. Will, and Io will listen to him. I mean, we'll see. Ali Fault says, great win, and Coby is firing up us fans. See red. It's a lot to get excited about. Coby White's play is inspiring. And if you're a Bulls fan, I can't see how the play of Coby White, him growing, like we're seeing a player in Coby White grow as a leader because he's not just him scoring more points, right? It's also Coby White stepping up and being more verbal out there with his team. Like that's something we're seeing as well. And I don't want to overlook that also in talking about this. It's not just the scoring. Yeah, the scoring stands out. Don't get me wrong. And it's good to see Coby White have a game where he comes in the second half and performs in the manner in which he did. But it's more than just that. He's growing confidence as a leader. And that's when you start seeing something that you can build off of. We're in the end game now, says fam. When the UC chanted Coby chills and DeMar with 10 assists, what a great game. Love seeing it, bro. Love seeing it. Love seeing it. The Windy City Breeze is probably past as another day of cooking CHG. Oh, man, you already know what that is. You already know. You already know. Super Duper Danko says, what's good, Haize? I gotta say, seeing Coby challenge that dunk was by far my favorite thing to happen this season. Coby has been letting that dog loose. Like I said, we're seeing a player grow. And that's always fun to see, especially when it's a player that you drafted and they're growing in your system. It's always good to see that as a fan of a team. Mr. Christopher says the young players always were going to be the X factor on this team, on if this team takes a leap or not. Did not know Zach had to be out to see it, though. I mean, hey, it is what it is. At least we're seeing it, right? I'm proud of this team. This is not looking good for Zach. I hope he sees the potential of his team from the bench. I hope he's learning while watching how to play with these young players. And yeah, I mean, listen, the fact of the matter is that, like I said earlier, if you want to extend your career, if you want to win, you have to be willing to sacrifice. And you can't just talk about sacrificing. It's not necessarily just sacrificing shots. It's sacrificing who you may see that you are, right? Coming in there like, hey, I'm not saying that this is what Zach's saying. I'm talking about hypothetically here. But if Zach's coming in like, hey, I'm Zach LaVine, I need my 25 shots a game. You got to be willing to sacrifice that if you want to win, regardless. Bulls for Life says, it's good to see Bubbles the Clown, Billy, finally trust Coby to take the role that he spent so much time trying to learn. I like the idea of him, Io, and Pat being pillars of the future Bulls team. And that's why I like hearing, for example, like the Bulls being, if they make a trade with Lakers, Roy Hachimura and Austin Reeves, because those are two players that can come in and fit the system, right? Yeah, neither one of those players has the ceiling of Zach LaVine. But at the end of the day, you're adding versatile players that can play multiple positions that also play into the wingspan thing, right? But can also stretch the floor some. So I think the route, what we're seeing, and it may not stay that way, but I think from like the rumors that we're hearing is that when AK does trade Zach LaVine, if that trade does happen, he's looking for those type of players that can play multiple positions, they give effort defensively, they can stretch the floor, things like that. And so I think what you may see is that impact the style of play. And then, therefore, you're getting further on at that point. Let's see. He was about as consistent as Zach has been this season. I mean, that's a fact. That's a fact. Haize, do you think that the Bulls' biggest offensive problem was LaVine, DeRozan, and Vucevic starting together in the lineup? I mean, I think there's something to that, right? I think when you look at it, those core three players played the most minutes of any three-man rotation, and they had a negative point differential. So, it is what it is, man. So, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, that may be it, and that may be up to Billy Donovan to decide. But like I said, that may be decided for us with Zach LaVine in the trade request. So we'll end up seeing where that goes. Ultimately, you got to let it play out, and we'll see where it goes, man. 45 subscribers away from 16K. Are there 45 of you guys who can hit the subscribe button before we end the stream today? That's what we're looking for. 45 subs. 45 subs. Julian Phillips reminds me of Corey Brewer with jump shot potential. Probably why we traded up for him. Billy put the word in. Shout out to Ricky Fontaine on that one, my brother. Listen, I mean, Julian Phillips got a ton of potential. Ton of potential. That's my uncle, nigga. And when I out the big unk, that means something for real, for real. Shout out to Haize. I respect you for real, bro. Love your channel. But whoever that was need to calm down and understand what I meant. Oh, like, yeah, I understood what you meant for sure. I was just saying, I was throwing a joke. You ain't got to put it on somebody dead. But yeah, I mean, respect to the fam for sure. Haize, I've been repping for my dog Coby Free. Oh, facts. 8 Lives have been leaving voicemails on Coby for a while. Is it possible for a player to renege on a trade? If Zach sees us turn up, is that even an option? I mean, yeah. I mean, there was a player on the team last year that requested a trade, and then they actually signed him to an extension this summer, and now he's playing a big role. Is it somebody on the Milwaukee Bucks? I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, we've seen it happen before. Slim21 in the building says, salute Chicago in the building. Been saying since he came from Carolina, he was going to be nice. LaVine, who, good job, Coby White, in my Larry June voice. That's hilarious, man. Listen, I love seeing the growth from Coby. Absolutely love seeing the growth from Coby White. And the big homie says, Io's new name is the human fast break. Damn, that kid has some wheels. Listen, Coby White had some of the fastest draft combine results ever. But listen, Ayo Dosunmu is fast. When he gets the ball on a fast break, a rebound or steal, everybody just needs to run. It's good seeing Ayo get in that position as well and growing his game. D-Dub says, Haize, I'm worried that we've backed ourselves into a corner with needing to trade Zach. What do we do if no one wants him or we get really bad offers for him? I mean, it really comes down to, you have to ask yourself, do you hold on to him and then hope that he plays better and that trade value goes back up, even if that goes into next season? Do you wait to the offseason? Or does he end up staying here for a while? I mean, all those things are possibilities in it. I think when it comes down to it, that if you're committed to trading Zach, at some point you got to take the best offer you've gotten and then ride it out. So, Haize, do you think these 2 wins are destroying Zach's trade value? I mean, we've already heard the Zach's trade value was going down, so I don't know if it's destroying it, but I definitely think for the teams that already had questions on how Zach impacts winning, you got to look at this and say, hey, with the next 2 games coming up, we'll see if we can win 4 in a row. Now, that would be sweet. If the Bulls win 4 in a row, that would crazy. That would be crazy. The energy between Coby and P. Will is awesome. Oh, those guys, they love each other. Like, they really do. Like, they have so much love and respect for each other. The Carolina boys, as Stacey King calls them. Haize, don't hate me, but I haven't given up on DeMar yet. Don't roast me. I mean, no, I understand it, right? I understand what DeMar is and what he can mean for leadership, what he can mean for teaching the guys things. I understand that. I just think at some point you got to ask yourself, is that even worth it? Or can you bring in other veterans? Or do you want to trust your coaching staff? Keep in mind, everybody has their own trainers in the offseason too. So, like, you got to start asking yourself that. I remember the days of Coby getting called a poor man's Colin Sexton. Ooh, you're taking it back there. I can watch every NBA game. Why would you get D'Lo when you can have Coby? Make it make sense. I mean, listen, D'Lo, I'm not very high on D'Lo. I know some people are. I'm not. DeMar belongs in Chicago. We can lose Zach. I hate to say it. I wouldn't say DeMar necessarily belongs in Chicago either. He plays some of the worst defense I've ever seen. But hey, I'm not against him keeping DeMar either. It just depends on what happens. If the Bulls got a young center to put in a spot on the lineup with Coby, Ayo, and Pat, I think the team would have a good look at a great future. Obviously, not to knock Vooch, but it's just an opinion. I mean, hey, I can understand where you're coming from with that. So. Just want to say the Bucks and the Pelicans, 2 solid teams we beat. I mean, yeah, we come in here, we've beaten teams. So I mean, listen, we got to see how it's going to continue. We wanted to continue to go the route that we needed to go in, but listen, the Bulls, they've showed something these 2 games, right? I don't want to overstate it, but I don't want to understate it either. The Bulls have showed some. This is a team, and the Pelicans that came into this game 2 games above 500. So. We still need DeMar with the young ones. I won't say it's necessarily need, but I do understand why you would want him out there. I wouldn't say that it's a need, but I understand it. Supernatural 28 says, problem is Zach and his one-on-one play. Even DeMar had 10 assists tonight. When was the last time Zach had 8 assists? He had 8 assists quite a bit. Back when he was only scoring, I think Zach LaVine had a couple of games in a row where he had 8 assists when he wasn't taking very many shots. So, yeah, Zach's had assists, and that's the thing. Like, I also think as fans, we do this. We're so zoomed in that we forget it. I'm just gonna look it up real quick. So Zach LaVine has had 8 assists, one this time so far this season. Damn, has it only been one? I thought it was more than that. Oh, he's one game. He had 6, 5, 4. Yeah, but he had 8 assists on against the Phoenix Suns. So there you go on that. Spice. What's going on, Spice Band? Says you remember everybody wanted to trade Coby his third year? Exactly. And that was the crazy thing. And that's why I always go back to, like, people be so ready to give up on somebody. So ready to give up on somebody, man. And sometimes you just gotta chill. Alex Caruso has been so big for us. He's shooting the ball with so much confidence now. It's safe to say he's one of our best three-point shooters on this team right now. What do you think? Oh, yeah, when you're shooting the ball almost 50% from three-point range, you're one of the team's best shooters. Hell, that will put you as one of the best per percentage three-point shooters in the league. He's making, what is it? I think it's like a 49% he's shooting it right now. Let me look it up so I give you the exact number. I don't want to embellish. Let's see what it is. Alex Caruso right now shooting the ball 47% from three-point range. That's bananas. By far the highest of his career. If the Bulls trade Zach, they should trade for a power forward. No, they should just get whatever the best. Like, at this place with this talent, this team is right now, you need the best talent, regardless of the position. So that's the thing that I would focus on. Who's giving you the best talent? DeMar should take an Andre Iguodala role. He was effective to the Warriors championships, but also taught the younger guys how to win. He can still be a focal point, but differently. I mean, listen, but Andre Iguodala also was. It's easier when it's a defender, right? That's not DeMar's role, so it's easier to fit in on a team like that when you're a defensive player first, because you always need defense. So it's a little bit different when it's a player that's game is mainly built around offense. It's a little different there. Shouldn't we apply what we're learning with Io and Coby to DT too? I mean, the player still has to show it. Ready to backpedal and be Will being disappointed? No, because that's not backpedaling. So this is the thing it's not backpedaling when new information, intelligent people, when new information is presented, you change your stance because you're taking in that new information. P. Will was absolutely disappointing to start the season. He's now no longer being disappointing. That's not backpedaling. He's changed the way that he's played. And if you don't understand that, then you're just missing the point. Will LaMelo be out next game? Yes, LaMelo's going to be missing quite a bit of time. Archangel in the building says, would Zach be furious being traded to the Pistons? The team is doing worse than us. Detroit has 5,000 feral dogs on the streets. Zach would end up stuck in a tree or something. I don't give a fuck. Like, at this point, like I said before, at this point, it's what the best deal is for the team. That's what the best thing is. Make the best deal for the team. No lie, after Coby clapped for the North Carolina win, I was done. But I'm happy that they remained patient with the kid. But everyone wanted to trade Coby after that, no lie. I mean, I was still not on the Coby trade wagon, but I was very disappointed in Coby with that. Like, that was a tone-deaf moment for sure. Assuming Zach is moved, this is from Josiah, I still think that moving DeMar maximizes Vooch in this offense, where he can initiate his offense from the mid-range, like we saw against Milwaukee. Oh, facts. Like they initiate their offense from basically the same spot. And so you're definitely going to see a change in the player. You have two players trying to do it the same way. People want to keep DeMar on this team till they realize how much the team's going to have to pay for a 34-year-old DeMar to stay. That's a fact. Crystal's DeMar was an all-star just last year. Y'all want him to come off the bench? Yes, all-stars come off the bench. There are people who made the all-star team last year coming off the bench. That doesn't mean anything. It's about the best role for the team. Haize, what Bulls guard got traded to Detroit that you were referencing? Ben Gordon. Tierra says, have you confirmed any Chicago Bulls players that watch your pod? I have no idea. None. I have no idea. I hope not. Not with as much as I flame their asses at times. I hope not. Zach is good, but he doesn't have 2 steals a game, a block, and 5 rebounds. His game is not translating overall effectiveness. That doesn't mean overall. There's tons of players that are effective. That's overall. He doesn't have 2 steals a game, a block, and 5. What the fuck? That's not how you dictate. That's you adding in a barrier that's not necessarily conductive to reality. That's not the only way that you can be productive in the NBA. I don't even know where you got that at. They should focus on moving DeMar first, though. No, because he's not the one that requested the trade. And he's not going to get you much back either. Let's make Zion, Coby, P. Will, and Io happen. Great. That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, great win from the Chicago Bulls tonight. Love the effort for sure. Each Instruments in the building says, man, this is where we won a game and Haize and cracking jokes are flaming up in a bizarre world. I mean, listen, there's nothing. You must have missed it when I flamed the Koch Grabler. You must have missed it when I flamed Prove Me Wrong. I literally started off the stream with a flame. Supernatural 28 says DeMar just doesn't need to ball stop, play within movement of the offense, and also P. Will isn't a one-on-one isolated guy. He's a great defender, can slash and hit the open three. Just be that, Pat. Facts. Let's get a streak going, Bulls. We need it. I mean, we're in the streak now. Finally. CMF in red, Haize. Hey, that is what it is. Eli in the building says, Woj low-key flames Zach in that ESPN segment. That man doesn't impact winning. I mean, that's not, if it's true, it's not flaming. And I mean, you got to start questioning that. And that's not flaming or unfair to question that with what Zach LaVine has showed. It's not fair to question it. Now, he's been on some terrible teams in his career. Terrible teams. Whoa, let's get Bulls love the way we play. Hope to see more of this. Go Bulls. Beat. First of all, why is the beat necessary in there? What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, it's crazy. Do I still think Javon Carter should start over at Coby? Hell no. Hell fucking no. Coby is, hey, listen, he's in that role. He's grown exponentially, man. Can you give my boy Lil Jabari a shout out, fam? That boy made 18 years a slave, but I still love him. That's TBO, stop doing cocaine, my friend. You gotta lay off the crack. The crack is whack, bro. Hate guard packs all you want, but they know how to find hidden gems. Coby White, aka Baby Mamba. That's not Coby White wasn't a hidden gem. Like, that's not a hidden gem. He was highly regarded in that draft. Highly regarded. And they knew they were going to either get, what was it? It was him or, that wasn't the Ja draft. No, it was him or Darius Garland. They knew that one of those guys were going to fall. One of them were going to fall to the Bulls. Yeah, if I really need Drummond to dunk those balls instead of missing them, they didn't come out right. You want Drummond to dunk those balls? I mean, listen, Melvin, I'm not one to judge, bro. Like, if you want balls dunked on you, bro, like listen, hey, that's between you and the dunker. Listen, it's cool. Like, it is what it is, man. Who would have thought 1 year ago or so ago when Coby was still not good that he may be one of our Coby White was good a year ago. And again, I think people just say that defensively. Offensively, Coby White won us games with his defense. His weak side defense, blocking shots in the game, him growing as a passer last season. Coby White had a terrible shooting season last year, but it wasn't. Coby White was good last year for the Chicago Bulls. He absolutely was good. He didn't shoot the ball well, but he was good. Come on now. Come on. Not gonna lie, I'm not happy with the predicament we're in with LaVine. Play him and lose, or sit him down and drown his trade value and win. I mean, listen, that's why even in what Woj said, the best thing for all parties is Zach LaVine comes back and plays well. That's it. Thomas says, I think Io and Coby are working good together. Well, remember, Coby White and Io DeSumo built a really good chemistry when they both were coming off the bench when Lonzo was healthy. That first year, they built a really nice chemistry coming off the bench together. Now, Io eventually moved into the starting lineup, so I'm not really surprised by that. I'm glad we got Coby over Garland. It's nice to see he has the trust of his teammates to make big shots like this lately. Facts. Big facts on that one. The Zach injury might need another week of observation. Not gonna lie, that's funny. There's gonna be a lot of people saying that. Butler and Taj were hidden gems, but Coby certainly was not a hidden gem going 7. Exactly. Like Butler, Taj, Bobby Portis, maybe you could say. Maybe he was a hidden gem. Maybe I can't remember where Bobby was drafted. It was right outside the lottery. Was Bobby Portis? Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, they found gems, but yeah, Coby wasn't a gem. He was highly regarded in that draft. If Coby gets aggressive and hungry, it's his team because he's unstoppable at point. He should easily be number 1 point in the league assist points per game. I won't say that. That's easily. No, you can't say that easily, bro. What we talk? You're a prisoner of the moment right now, bro. You can find a 30 pick as a hidden gem or in the second round. What are you talking about? Yeah, you can find a pick in the second round for sure, like for sure. But Coby was not a hidden gem. Bro, what happened with Alex? So Alex re-injured his big toe injury. So Coby is in the ground a lot, though. He scares me. Crash Bandicoot. That's funny. I mean, listen, for a while there, Coby White was leading the league in charges taken. Like Coby has just turned into such a good player, man. Haize, do you think Coby White can do this on the road? Yes, Coby White can do this on the road. Great win, but we did catch the pills on the second night of a back-to-back in the first game of the road trip. We need to keep working hard. Facts. We need to keep working hard. Coby White was the 1-7 that actually worked out when we were consistently getting 7 in the draft. That's fact. Coby reminds me of Lou Williams if he started. I think he's better defensively than Lou Williams. That's for sure. So when Zach sits, Billy looks like a good coach. I think we can see the problem. That's damning right there. That's funny. That is actually pretty funny. And it could be very accurate as well there. A win is a win is a win is a win. Yep. Remember when Coby was scaring Zach in interviews? Now it looks like he's trying to scare Zach by showing him, I'm taking your spot when you're gone. I mean, listen, Coby White has always had scoring potential, and he's always had that type of potential to be that type of guard, but he came into a team with another high-scoring guard. So, it is what it is there. How would you grade Billy Donovan tonight? I was out with fam doing Christmas festivities. Want to hear your perspective. Oh, solid A B plus A from Billy Donovan today. Started off a little rocky there, but he really like this. He's coached 2 really good games back to back. Really good games. Archangel says we're betting on a gem from the second round right now. Phillips, hey, that could definitely be one. Could definitely be one. All right. Coby was scoring 40 as a rookie. Why is everyone? Because it's not about just scoring 40. It's how you get it done. And it's a lot different from scoring 40 on a team that had no scores but you and Zach LaVine for leading a team with DeMar DeRozan and this type of team in the way that you did. Like, yes, Coby scored 40. Hell, like Corey Butler had a 50-point game. Like, you can score that, but it's how he did it. So that's what it is. Like, all 40s aren't the same. Jordan Rosario says, I said before, I wasn't going to say see red until they fix this shit, but fuck it, I'm happy see fucking red. Hey, there you go on that one. Mr. Christopher says, the thing I respect most about Coby is not even the offense. It's the fact that he's leading the team in charges taken. Listen, that's a fact. That's a fact. Butter Biscuit says, I can't tell if the effort was the problem or if it was the coaching. We need to sit Zach for another week. That's funny. So does this mean AK can't draft? Well, we said it. Like Io, we all knew that Io was something. Now, he had a sophomore slump, right? The potential in P. Will, we saw that, right? We know what the potential is. It's not that they drafted the wrong player per se. Like, yeah, Tyrese Halliburton is a much better player. I don't want to overlook that. But one thing that you don't know when you're drafting players if they're going to have the mentality. So that sucks. But I mean, it could end up being that way. Julian Phillips could be definitely a steal. Io DeSumo could definitely be a steal. Adama Sinago's looking good down there in the G League too. Now he's not going to be the same type in there, but we'll see. We'll see what they end up being. Robert Thomas says, in my opinion, Coby has gotten much better. He stepped up big time. Facts. That's 100% fact. Agree with you on that one. But all right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap the stream up, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed as well. If you want to follow the channel, you can do so at Bull Central Pod on every social media platform. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to send a text message and our voicemail, 773-270-2799. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. Thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See Red if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.
See red.